Hi everyone, welcome to this live stream. It's a very interesting topic which I've taken to kind of talk about. This is about freelancing. A lot of people today, we all are freelancing. You have some small business of yours, a certain skill set which is there, which can be in sales, marketing, finance, HR, and you started your own freelancing business. You are self-employed. So many people are new in this, and with experience you kind of learn not only the skill sets but also how to handle the clients. Now one very important thing in this is that how do you kind of select your clients. So it's a big mistake to just consider uh, anyone who is ready to purchase your services to go in for that. So a lot of newbies or noobs, they make that mistake that like somebody's just shown a little bit of interest and you're also in a kind of a state wherein, yeah, I'm not getting any work, so let me just start with someone. And also that shouldn't be there. So first things first is that obviously your marketing should be in such a way that you are getting quite a bit of leads, as in then you have that introductory meeting discussing what kind of requirements you have. So also, here I'll talk a little bit more since I'm also freelancing in digital marketing. So with that angle I can guide you. So um, firstly, like, to get into freelancing, you have to, I mean, I wouldn't say a lot of experience, because I've even seen so many, even college students who are getting into some kind of way they are freelancing. So I wouldn't say the uh, so much experience bit of it, but there is some kind of like project work you've done initially, right? Like some kind of success you've tasted, like say you are doing handling say in social media, say Instagram account for a particular brand, and then you got good feedback. So maybe you did a couple of them, right, somewhere in say your mother, father's friends businesses or something like that, or anyone in your network, right, is there you handle there. For example, I'm talking about social media marketing. So you've tasted some kind of success in that, then only I feel you should kind of venture, or you should develop some kind of portfolio of work, doing that projects yourself. This initially, I would say, I wouldn't say like free of charge, but like at least on a token amount, like you just gain that. See, because nobody is gonna give you a chance. That's the reality, that unless you have some connection already with them, nobody's like kind of giving you a chance. Like if they don't see anything done, in the past, there's no kind of reference point. um, Also, say like there are people who are doing jobs also, and then so obviously within the job they're learning. So if you're in a social media marketing job, then you have a little bit of experience, and maybe you can do a little bit of social media marketing freelance, right? So that trust is there because maybe you work for those companies, and then when you go to a particular person that you're kind of trying to freelance with, so you just explain that what you have done in your full-time jobs, and then give some kind of presentation like what can you do for them and all, and on the basis of that the ball starts rolling. So I think this, it's like kind of a approach where you have to like keep learning, like kind of come up to a level only. See, because that is only the kind of way you'll not be, you'll have a lot of options. Like a lot of people will consider you then, right? So then you can make right decisions. Obviously, you, like when you're freelancing, you have to expect like first few months maybe you don't make any money also, unless you can be in those positions. Like you should not like consider also, right? Then uh, you that is the kind of what advice I give, right? Like even freelance, or you are starting your own business and all, initially you have to get a long stretch of time that you can afford not to earn anything, right? So that much amount of backup you got to have, right? So now coming to the part, the main material of this live stream is the checklist. So what you have to consider, like you're a little bit in the market now, your time is valuable. As a freelancer, you're doing, all your things yourself. You're managing all your projects. You're doing your own marketing, your meetings, and or your finances, everything. So what kind of clients now you don't take because they'll suck out your time, energy, and everything, and you just spend, they're giving you, you're paying you peanuts, and also those kind of clients you gotta kind of avoid, right? So here's some kind of a reference checklist firstly. So be open, obviously, to set up meetings uh, with people. Like you can have a wherever you're marketing yourself, you have like a Calendly link where somebody can, like, fix up for free. You can have a time window within a day where you are having those meetings or something. So be open in that, right? There's no checklist, I would say, for that initially when you are kind of new and trying to get more and more clients. So once you got the mean, then what do you have to observe and what kind of research before that, you start some kind of agreement of work, right? So let us, without further ado, let's start off. So firstly is you have to is the first thing is affordability. So can this particular person afford your services, right? That's the first point, right? So uh, you have to look it up, like, okay, what is this company, how big is it, how many, what kind of maybe turnover it has, or how many employees they have. So that may be a little bit, see, in private companies obviously you'll not get much details, but you have, LinkedIn for reference, where you can see where, how maybe big the company is in terms of, at least say, employees. You can do a bit of online searches and all this. So you have to kind of do a bit of background key. Okay, can this person, afford the particular services? um Earlier, I think times they were like, you when you entered, you seen the office and all that, you kind of take a call on that, okay, how big is the office, what is the thing. But that can be also a little bit misleading, because can he, okay, he's got a swampy office, but is he going to invest that much? But online is kind of, there is a little bit, I feel, more clarity that can come to it, right? Also keep yours, once I think the first somebody shows the interest, you put the email, you should kind of say roughly what you charge, right? Like, so if you are doing, say, social media marketing, so just kind of put a starting point. Like, so, somebody, say you're charging 20,000 a month, 20,000, so just put it in the mail that, okay, this is onward. So at least there is a little bit of a clarity from the end, that okay, that even the client, prospect know that, okay, maybe, yeah, this is not affordable for me, right? So let's not start with the conversation. So you put that out there, right? So just then, just to make it clear, this is the things, right? Like, it can't be in the face, because a little bit can be a little bit disrespectful in that terms, right? Uh, but it should be out there in your, like, little bit of a communication, that this is there, right? Also, some things can be, mentioned bit later down the line, about when you're discussing about, say, an advance. So I feel some kind of advance should be there, right? So then that guy gets an, because there's certain, you meet all kinds of people. So I've even seen in some cases, they start the work or something, and then, they're not even giving out the first payment, which is maybe after a month. So uh, honestly, and these agreements and all, like, what is the newbie gonna do about it, right? If there is a, say, even a small size company or something. So you have to kind of protect yourself, have some advanced system, then have certain milestones that after this work, and also you're protected, at least that time that is there. and this thing. And trust me, all these kind of fakers out there, they will tell you that, oh, if you, these all conditions are too much, about payment, and also we can take somebody else's services. So you should be like, yeah, yeah, please go forward. Yeah, because that's what that person is telling everyone, right? Because that wasn't a fraud. So uh, and not going to pay you. So that is how you come to know, like, who is the, who is really genuine in that, right? So next very important point is the domain knowledge. So this with within the interaction, uh, the person should have an kind of idea of how this particular function works, right? Like, say in digital marketing, how do these things work? Like, if during a conversation it just comes out that this person doesn't have much of an understanding, like if then his understanding or expectation is coming, like, like he doesn't know, maybe the a company is spending say lakhs of rupees in a particular activity, and he's expecting the same, and he's paying you a really small amount. So person doesn't really know how those things work, right? So there has to be some kind of gauging you have to do, that does he know this domain, right? Do they understand, like, how a basic structure and a process works, right? So if the guy is running a business, he should know it. Like, I would say any business today, you should know the founders, or any one who's serious within, say, digital marketing. They should know how the general things work, like, SEO, or somebody expecting you to, I'll you'll rank on the first page in a month or something like that, and they're not, this is unrealistic. And because they don't understand the domain, right? Like, what is it about? Right? If it's so easy, it's like going to some gym trainer and saying that, oh, I get a body like Tiger Shroff in a month, and also you don't understand the tone. It's not the whole thing. It's not that simple, right? That's why we guys, in this business, we are slogging out, right? So should have some kind of idea that how then, and that is with the conversation you kind of get to know about that. So avoid that kind of a client where he's just talking through the hat, he doesn't know much about it. Because then going forward, there'll be a lot of illogical expectations also from that end, right? Next, you got to do kind of an online review. This, so you can do before the meeting also. Just see, on their LinkedIn, go around, just see what content they are posting. What is about, generally people today, it's social media is so important, like especially like in a professional sense, on LinkedIn, that if a person is not active on LinkedIn also, that's a little bit of a red flag. Because today you see, like, even so many enterprises, they have like hired people to post for them. It's that is the level of importance the top management or decision makers are giving, because it has become that important, your content out there. So for all the stakeholders, it has a important within the company. So you got to review what is the content, what are the posting, does it make sense? Just like one, or is it just salesy posts and all? Are they talking sense? You get a bit of a vibe about them also, right? From when they do that, you have to also check, obviously, all their digital properties, their website. Could be some different, like a product site, an application, social media channels, and all these things. So uh, just do a thorough review, right? Like, there you'll get a little bit of these red flags where there's no activity, or the posts are too salesy and all that, right? So like, say if you're coming on board as a digital marketer, that a lot of things are not in place here, right? Like, there's something wrong, right? Like, it's happening here, right? So if you want to take the risk and go into it, but it's kind of avoidable, because there'll be some kind of unrealistic expectation attached. And I know of many these companies, so they've uh, whatever, whoever the guy is, the top founder, whatever, they're so confused in terms of what they want. They just hire and then fire. So you don't want to be part of that deal, right? So kind of avoid them. Okay, expectations, very important. So in there, once you've completed your meeting, you've done your sales pitch, you told about yourself. Um, Now you got to discuss. Okay, what do you expect from me, right? The expectations. So you should have something listed out. What is a realistic expect? What you can give also, right? Like what with your skill set you can achieve. So there has to be a clear conversation on the deliverables, and it should be on more of the work done than the output, right? That will be kind of related. So like say you are say on social media, there are, say you're making 3 to 4 videos about their product or something like that. So you have to know like how much of audience you can kind of pull in through that, right? And that could lead to how much. So being an experienced marketers, you kind of get an idea of um, say the conversion rates that can be there from the views to the that the website visits, and from there the online orders from the site or something like that. So you should know your percentages in that. So your expectation, like this is what you'll have to explain to before that person, that this is what I can do, right? So is this kind of fine? And if they have, you feel some kind of unrealistic expectation, something out there only, which again shows that they don't know what they are doing. So then kind of that's another red flag to then back off from. um Also try to kind of have discussion that in the past, what they've done with other vendors that are there, right? So what has been achieved. So you will kind of get an idea, like so at least it shows that they have experience what they are doing with you. Obviously you shouldn't get into the names of whoever they worked with earlier and all this thing, but what kind of work has been done. So they know what they're doing, and they have an expectation, like this is person has achieved X, so maybe you can do 1.2x. So, but it shouldn't be like some expectations, although no, now we have everything in place, so you can do 2x or something. So, that is where you have to kind of manage the expectations. So, that is kind of a important thing to consider. Next, you have to like kind of judge the efficiency, because this is a service business. So you are working with the particular client. It's not like a product that is made and you're giving it, right? Like so, you are working with that person. So like say you're doing the social media marketing, you have to have all the product details, what is happening. There's a constant communication. There is a material needed, whatever in time and all these things. So this the client also. So you have to firstly check that person's professionalism, this efficiency in the work. Like at least like before how. So how do you come to know before you work with that person, right? Like in terms of when you're setting up, you get those vibes from the chat that is there. um, the energy they bring to a pre-sales meeting, and all how they're discussing about it, right? Like um, what the even when like they're answering mails and all, how quickly it's being done, or how much so because this is going to affect a lot once you're working with them. So you got to kind of be really, your antennas have to be up, that what kind of a vibe you're getting from them, that energy. Do you have the energy? Do they want to go out there and achieve? So I've had certain clients also, like absolutely zero energy, like. And then I've take, obviously you're just at the time you're just starting, you can't really judge what's happening and all. And the same thing, like no interest, once the work starts, like. And then when you're asking for some guidance or something and all, and low energy. And in the meetings also, like they kind of blank and all, you're not putting in any of their inputs and all. But they are the first people to put you down. Oh, this is not being done, or not expectations. What have they done, right? Like, so these kind of, so I have got an idea of got the vibes from these guys, like how efficient are they, like, and they will expect some great, kind of efficiency. So this is like unrealistic expectations, that many of them have, obviously. As a company, you're running a manager, it is your job. It's like a marketing manager is working with multiple agencies, so they are supposed to, do a lot of work, right? Like, in terms of once the agency, there's so much of communication, and there is a, say, a creative brief or whatever is the thing. They are so much involved. Obviously, then while you have a marketing manager, right, you can just have the agency, right? So that's not how it works out. So there's a huge contribution for the marketing manager. So, and that you can see, judge in the efficiency in those meetings that you have before you are on board. Lastly, we have clarity. So, how clear is it, right? Everybody wants this in a boss also. Like, they are very clear in what they expect, right? And that clarity comes with uh, somebody having a vision, right? And knowing how to kind of get there, right? So he's then, with the other resources, his job is how does he, with all the human resources that are involved, how he can get there. That is what a great leader does. So in their planning, their thinking, is it structured, right? That's what you get in the interaction. So is that clarity, like many, it's very funny, like things of work people, oh, नहीं यार इसमें मजा नहीं आ रहा, what the hell is that supposed to mean, right? Yeah, yeah, for entertaining you or something, right? So such kind of comedy, unintentional comedy that they do, like, that you come to know, like, that this guy, it's not clear. So it's always, there's gonna be some, that person only is dissatisfied with themselves only, I think so. So they are not like clear, right? Ki what is there? So that you get that vibe, ki this person. But so the ones who are clear, there is a clarity, right? When they're speaking and all, like when in general, so when you're interacting with people, you like those people who have clear, whatever it is, there's a clear clarity of what they are doing, right? It's not like two-faced, or kind of wherein it's what do you call that thing, wherein they're like contradicting themselves, right? Once you're having a conversation, and then the next conversation they are like a hypocrite kind of thing. So that's not gonna happening, right? So that's what you get with the people. So you have to be very clear, because it's a person only you're kind of dealing with, right, on a basis. So that person, there has to be clarity. Awesome. So I've covered all the points for this particular checklist. You have to, if you follow this, then you will get good. And trust me, like, it's just not about the money aspect about it. It's, you want that it's very good. If you're working with good people, and there are a lot of good people, don't worry. You will, once you have most important thing is the options, and options you will have once you are marketing yourself. Do it on social media, or you're having an email campaign, or whatever it is, that you should look at, connect, at least putting out the message to more and more people, so that you get more and more meeting. Because in the desperation only, that you make the wrong decision of getting the wrong people on board. When if you have options, then why will you um, take a client where there are a lot of, like a prospect where there are a lot of those red flags, right? Why will you consider them? So the most important thing is have the options. Then all these things checklist, opens out. Awesome. So yeah, but the thing is, yeah, you can ask that why, how do you, and is that is the hustle about, like, what do you call, if you are hustling, is that hustling is getting the message to maximum of people, so that in terms of say, so you have a campaign, say you're messaging, right? Say on LinkedIn only. So you message like say 500 people, for example, that I'm providing say social media services and all this thing and all, right? So this is now considering all, everything is good, your subject line, everything, you have a good portfolio, whatever. Now, out of that, if you have then a conversion rate, then maybe say even 10% out of that, say 50 would give me say meetings and all that, right? If it's lesser conversion rate, then obviously you have to improve your messaging and also the data who you're actually reaching out to. But you got to have that, do this marketing, right? Like as a freelancer, very important, because then only you have those amount of meetings, and then you have obviously from the meeting, then they have to choose you also, right? Like consider you to take the things forward, right? So then out of that you have that choice key. Okay, I can now, I can have option of working, so I'll like choose to work with these people. Awesome. Now let's go to the Q&A section. What is it from the audience? What are the questions they have about this topic? Okay. How do you design your marketing communications as a freelancer? This is a very important part. Marketing communications, your email subject line uh, should be, if you're a marketer, so it'll be easier kind of to market, because you know the kind of the principles and what's in the market at that time. So your subject, like what are you messaging on LinkedIn, your LinkedIn profile, if you have like say you're active on Instagram, so that your profile, then what are the content you're posting there, also your first message that goes into a prospect that is kind of interested in it, on all that thing. So all these things have to, like I use that link tree which you can see on the top right. So this is very good, like you don't have to like have your own site and all, right? You can just have this link, and everything you do, somebody has to, your portfolio can be there, your consultancy booking link in terms of like your free call or something, or social media channels and your contact, and all these details will be kind of, and then it should be designed well, that is appealing. Everybody likes to connect with people who are well branded in that sense. So that is that you have to put an effort to design this, and kind of keep working on. Sometimes you're too busy in your own the client's work and all, but you should take out time in design this really. If you work hard on this, will increase your conversion rate and a lot. Conversion rate for like say the people who are seeing all your material to them booking a meeting or something with you. How do you incentivize clients to give you references? So generally, many times the work is so good that uh, the client directly try to refer you. But I think now you have to be more out there, wherein you incentivize them by some kind of a cashback. No cashback. I think with the apps or for businesses. I would like say you're giving some kind of a discount, like a lot of small companies they use, wherein if somebody also purchases that service, then you get a discount on your monthly fee or something like that, right? So if they started, so some kind of a financial incentive has to be given, where you are, because on their own hardly one odd people will do it. So to increase this, the number of people who will be doing it, as the references and all, this has to be kind of incentivized in some financial terms, like um, if somebody gives you get a, for your next bill, if you're on a retainer or something, you get like 20% off if you get me a new client or something like that. So you're gonna have to define that. So then once there's a financial thing attached to that, person will think, okay, who can I refer to? Like, so they can get that particular discount or something. Okay, how to deal with rude clients. Okay, so this, see, the reality is you have to take some kind of shit a little bit. You have to let, that's a part of working and all, and you have to manage the people's behavior and all this thing, and also like, but you have to kind of correct them, because sometimes what happens most like what experience is that the clients, they feel like you're working and all that, you kind of own them, right? That kind of vibe comes from them, the way they're talking. So you have to kind of correct them in that firm and fair way. You have to be that, boss, I'm doing this particular job, you gotta respectfully talk to me and all this thing. You can't get away with that. You have to correct them, because then the behavior, you don't want to be treated as a doormat if you are as a freelancer and you're working for this some kind of company. So you have to kind of correct them. Constant rude behavior, you can kind of, after explaining also person is not understanding, then you can kind of drop that. Again, as I said, options. If you have options, then you can drop these kind of clients. But there is a way of dealing. You have to correct behavior also. You can just can't burn bridges and just drop clients on some or the other thing like this. Some inconvenience like that. So you have to deal with certain things, and that comes under soft skills, people management, and all that. Some people have it already in them, the other people you have to kind of learn and adapt, right, to manage the people. So that is very, and having a calm mind is the first thing in this, right? Like, to deal with anything, like, you can, once you have a calm approach, then that other person also kind of uh, calms down. So have to develop that in your personality. How to deal with constant changes from clients. Yeah, this is important in the creative field, because a lot of these you know clients, they'll keep changing their mind, right? Like that. What do they need? Like, there's a in obviously a lot of the graphic designers, they face a lot of issues on this, definitely, and even UI UX designers, that there are these changes. But there have to be, um, you have to define it, basically, that okay, if you have this, there'll be a first draft, then there's a second draft, and max there will be a third draft. After that, for every change, you have to mention that there'll be charges. So then that guy, his year stand up, he'll be like, okay, I can't now. I have to be kind of clear also. And also there is a lot of agencies and all that, there's a creative brief that they lock it, right? Like, this is what is discussed after this, and this is signed, that this is what. So there'll be no uh, changes after this, or some disagreement or all, because can't be on the whims and fancies. Once you commit to it, you have to go forward with it, whatever is it, right? Because there is a time, work, effort involved. So that has to be actually put in paper, in terms of, like, in written, that this is the thing and all. Uh, that is how you bring in seriousness in that, and from the client also, they're not just for the sake of it. Also, these changes and all are not happening. Okay, and last question of the day: how to solve the problem of late payments from? This is a very important. We all face this. That how do you get solve the problem of late payment? So, see, I've even worked, like, where marketing manager and then agency. So once an agency is kind of established, then they just set out that okay, you have to clear my payment by this so and so date, and after that, then there's 2 or 3 days extra, and then there is a late fee, and you can't do anything about like that. So they are then alert that okay, this fee has to be paid on this particular date, right? So if not, then there is a uh, late fee and all. So you have to be kind of clear in that what is it, and there have to be obviously some kind of a follow up structure also there, where if it's not done, then you have to follow up. So You and as a freelancer, you have to just make sure forget late. Like if there are certain clients who are not paying, also you have to just your attitude should be and your follow-ups and all that, boss, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to get my payment back, right? When that attitude, you reach that person's office only, right? And do whatever. Like, so if once that goes, um, that energy goes from you, that boss, I'm not going to leave you till I get my payment and all, then they kind of give in and they will definitely release, because these kind of games they kind of play, as well as they don't manage their work well. I as a, if like an entrepreneur will always pay the thing person, there is a certain satisfaction level show in his work, right? Like if you treat them properly, paying on time and all, so that is there. But there will be many people, you have to face all kind of people during work. So, and if you observe there's a pattern, after give one or two chances and then kind of don't continue working, obviously then what are you working for with them? They don't have a good attitude also, and you're not, and you're paying late also, then what the hell, what are you working for with them anyway? So yeah, uh, that is the way you got to be head on. You have to have your structure in place. You have to know what payments are happening and what kind of follow up process you have and all. So um, gonna, I think, first get yourself sorted and all these things, and then have the thing. So um, in terms of getting the client to pay, and there is a structuring of how you work, your process has to be kind of strong and all this thing. There's even a reporting structure and all that, some can come up with, okay, this is not done or that is not, and whatever. So you have to have your what work you've done clearly documented. uh, the more detailed it is, better. And in any kind of dispute, that's what you can kind of fall back on. Awesome. Great. It's been a great session here. About this freelance checklist and all. I wish you all best in your careers, in whatever you're doing within freelancing. If you would want me to work with you, please, you can contact me. My top right, you can scan that barcode and then go to my, even the link is mentioned there if you want to directly go to that Linktree link and all, and you can connect with me and we can start work together. Definitely. Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. I'll see you. Take care.